Hey guys, it's Dustin with Langston Group. Thanks for watching. In recent weeks, we've been experiencing some reluctance from clients who are maybe a little bit on hold due to the rising mortgage interest rates. So I wanted to throw together a informational video to help understand the adjustable rate mortgage, because I truly believe this could be a great product for a time like this. Today with me, I've got Jason Lister with AGCU. Thanks so much for joining us, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I was hoping you could maybe shore up some ideas on what adjustable rate mortgage is and help people understand this elusive, mysterious ARM product.
Let's do call it an ARM if you can resist dad jokes through the entire part.
You do skip leg day.
So yes, it's off to a bad start already, but yes. No, I think I'd shared with you earlier that we've done more ARM loans from January until August than I've done in the last 10 years combined. And you had asked me, well, what do you think's causing that? And I said, I just think the rate spread between where the 30-year fixed is now versus what ARMs are offering has never been greater. So I think it's opening up a lot of people's eyes to, you know what, maybe this is something I need to consider.
Yeah, that's good. So help me understand here, what is the rate spread between an adjustable rate mortgage and a fixed 30-year conventional?
It's a hard thing to answer with an exact number, but in the last week or two specifically, from the time we've shot this video, that spread's been anywhere between 1.25% to 1.75%. So
Gotcha.
to put that kind of in practical numbers, right? On a $250,000 loan, a rate spread of 1.5% would mean your payment would be like almost $250 a month less.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a small car payment,
Yeah.
right? But I think where this really comes into play is I'm always having realtors say, hey, you sent this, pre-approval letter for $200,000, but everything they like is $225,000. Well, that sort of payment difference gives you the equivalent of somewhere around $25,000 to $30,000 of extra purchasing power. So now your problem is solved.
Gotcha. So what do you mean by 10-in-1 ARM then?
Yeah. So when you hear that term 10-1, essentially what's happening is the rate that the lender is quoting is guaranteed for the first 10 years. After that 10th year, the rate can then adjust every single year afterwards.
Gotcha. So I get this question a lot from clients when I talk about 10-in-1 ARM or any ARM for that matter. They think it's a 10-year mortgage.
Right. Makes it a little bit tight on the payment.
Yeah, of course a 10-year mortgage would have a great interest rate.
Yeah, exactly.
But what does it actually mean if it's a 10-year ARM? Is it amortized on a different schedule?
It is. It's amortized on that 30-year schedule. So, some realtors carry a little pocket mortgage calculator. You can pop in the rate that the lender gave you for the 10-1 ARM, enter in 30 years, and compare that payment to a normal 30-year fixed.
Got it. It's good information. So in closing, is there anything else that listeners would want to know about a 10-to-1 ARM product that might help them out?
I think the main issue is just education and telling their clients to ask for a loan estimate. So we're going to do a little follow-up piece here, if you want to call it that, explaining a little bit more depth for the 10-1 ARM. So if you want to click the link inside this video, you want to call it our after party?
After party, fireside?
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Dustin.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for listening. Stick around, and you will get to hear us ramble for more. Thanks, guys. For those of you who stick around, I'm sorry, and also hopefully you find this very informative.
Yeah.
Jason, 10-in-1 ARM. So this is pretty unique. I know there are other lenders out there that offer ARM products.
Yeah.
And obviously, anyone who is wanting to work with their lender, they can ask them these questions
You
as
bet.
well. And same with realtors. It should be clear that although I'm talking with you and I'm from Langston Group, we want you to work with whoever your preferred realtor is as well. So, Jason, tell us, I've never heard of a 10-in-1 before. Usually it's a 3 to 5 year ARM.
It is.
Maybe a 7 max.
Yeah, and we offer 1-year ARM, 3, 5, 7, 10. There's even a 10-5 ARM, which means the rate's guaranteed for 10 years. And then on the first change, that change is good for another 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
So you can imagine the shorter the ARM guaranteed period, the better the rate's going to be, right? So, I'll give you an example. I have individuals who say, hey, look, we're going to buy this home, but it's really kind of a transition home for us. We're finishing up school or something else like that, and we're going to move out, that's where it would be perfect for like a 1 or 3 year arm.
Yeah.
Right? But you've quoted some data to me in the past, which is the average time, I think according to the National Board of Realtors, in a home is what, 3 to 5 years?
Between 3 and 5 years. Yeah. And from my experience, that's true.
Yeah.
So you would think, even you talk to clients who say, for sure, this is going to be our forever home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them call me back in 3 to 5 years.
I think I'd be out of business if every client told me this is our last home, this is our last mortgage,
we'd
and
be
those
done.
things, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So for us, the reason we've talked about the 10-1 arm so extensively is we feel like that is a time period that provides an element of safety against, concerns with this rate environment.
Right.
Right. And so the thinking behind it is, who is this product for? First-time home buyers, right?
Right.
I mean, you're a first-time home buyer. You haven't started having kids yet, if that's a desire of yours. You don't know what school district you want to be in. You're still early in your career. You're not earning maximum income at this point. 10-1 arm makes a ton of sense in that situation. Gather that lower rate while you can, because it's likely you're going to do something differently.
Yeah,
right?
I would say that the 10-1 could be a product for everyone. And that, I mean, hear me out here. So let's say you get it and you plan on staying there for 30 years. Well, at some point between now and that 10 years, we should hope that interest rates should go down to where you could refi. And the savings that you're going to make on the payment being lower from the lower interest rate would make up for the refi fee, in my opinion.
It's funny, as a lender, we have to be very careful about assuming where rates will go in the future. Okay, and I think it's a balancing act.
20, 30%.
Hey, I mean, we laugh, but I think people would have said, did we ever expect the 30-year to get in the 2s? And we would have said, absolutely not. That's ridiculous, right? But it did. So I think that the question just becomes, there is an element of risk to this like anything else. But I think at a 10-year frame, it really reduces a lot of that risk. And if you're saving $250 a month over a current 30-year, you've basically earned your closing cost refinance expenses, like in what, 12 to 14 months in savings.
Right.
You've now paid for that potential refinance in the next several years. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but I think most individuals feel as though we're heading into a recession. Historically, we have pulled ourselves out of a recession by lowering rates across the board to encourage expansion in business, to encourage growth and so forth. So if things were to mimic how we've done it in the past, yes, 2, 3, 4 years, rates should be pulling down, allowing.
It's on the horizon, but for right now, in the intermediate, we need to think about the best product to get a lower rate.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's good. So maybe we should recap really quick on exactly what this product is and how it can help most listeners.
If I was a realtor that is dealing with a homeowner that is considering selling their home, but they're concerned with leaving that really good rate and having to capture something different.
That's a valid concern.
It is a valid concern. I would start by just saying you need to talk to your lender about financing options other than just a straight 20, 30-year fix. And there are other products besides ARMs.
Yes,
Buy
VA,
downs,
FHA.
there's a million other deals that good lenders in town have. But what they have to ask for, and what is critical, is something called a loan estimate. It's very common in our industry where we only focus on sending out the fees worksheet. And that is helpful. I mean, and that's a good practice. But the loan estimate will lay out for a borrower the highest the payment could ever get to, which is super helpful, right? It'll lay out the cap. Okay, so say the worst case scenario, this is what your payment would be in year 14 or 15, whatever it is. It will allow that borrower to say, what index is this tied to? How am I going to know if rates are higher or lower? Who gets to choose what that rate's going to be in the future? That index will tell you. And it's just an education process. And a good lender, and we have a ton of them in Southwest Missouri, I mean, a ton that I would send my own family to and trust, they'll walk them through that piece. And I think that's really the key factor to consider.
That's great. Appreciate it.
You bet. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Jason. Thanks, guys, for listening. We should do this again with other topics.
If we can find anything interesting, right? Yeah. I like it.
Awesome. Thanks so much.